JT, welcome to the program. Glad to have you here today. Good morning, JT. How are you today? All right, we've got a little stall on JT, apparently a little audio issue. We'll get that fixed up here in a second. Renewable energy dependency, that's the warning he's putting out today, so we'll keep an eye on JT here for just a moment to get him fixed up. All right. Meanwhile, let's talk about the Supreme Court declining to review free speech involving students who wore only two genders shirt. Maybe you've heard about this case. The kid with the only two gender shirt, Liam Morrison, tossed out of a school in Massachusetts. He was tossed out of a school in Massachusetts, banned from school for wearing a shirt criticizing the transgender movement. The student, Liam Morrison, brought the case through his father and stepmother, Christopher and Susan Morrison. The plaintiffs argue Nichols Middle School violated his free speech rights when it banned him from wearing two T-shirts to school with the words, "There are only two genders." And there are, then he put censored across there, genders on the front. The Supreme Court refuses to hear the case. Is the First Amendment safe in this country? Is it safe? That's what I want to know. Do we have JT now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, JT, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well. I'm sorry for the little hiccup there, Steve, but I really enjoy being on the show.
Well, I greatly appreciate you being here. Iberian blackouts, renewable energy dependency warning. What does that mean, Iberian blackout? Tell me about this. Starkly warning against an ideologically driven dependence on renewable energy. Look, and I see it all the time. You've got these windmills, and you've got these solar panels, and you've got these things that don't produce enough energy to turn these lights on in the studio, right?
Well, yeah, you're right, Steve. And what we saw on April 28th was basically an immediate shutdown of the entire grid in Iberia, with Spain and Portugal simultaneously. And the real problem here with the ultra dependency on renewables is that they need conventional backup, and they need that in order to maintain the stable amount of energy coming in. And of course,
and here's the problem with that, JT. If you have a conventional backup being coal, nuclear, whatever it might be, then the system becomes more expensive because you can't just have it sitting there idling all the time. And if you do, then it costs money. And if you have to fire it up all of a sudden, it costs a lot of money. This is why Germany went back and refired its coal-fired power plants. It's why the state of Michigan, for the first time in American history, is recommissioning a nuclear power plant that had been put out of commission by the left. Now it's coming back online because there's not enough power in the grid. What happened in Spain and Portugal, they were without power for how long? Days?
They were basically over the whole day. I mean, 5 hours completely without it, and then it started to come back over time. And of course, a lot of people were trapped exactly where you were. Imagine yourself in an elevator.
Sure.
And there you stay until the power returns. An electric train, there you stay. And to your point, Steve, yes, you need conventional, all of this to maintain as a backup. But you also need a lot of ancillary equipment as well for renewables, which is also expensive, and in a lot of cases has never been tried on anything approaching the level of what they would need for maintaining a grid the size to power Iberia. And then they need multiples of those, that these systems work together. So
hold on here. I want to talk about the foolishness of all of this, because you've got a new prime minister in Canada, Mark Carney, who says we must pursue net zero. So he wants to continue this foolishness for the nation of Canada, for example. But even if we did all the things that they were calling for in the Paris Accords and the climate accords and different things, what China has done and what India has done in the interim would offset any gains we made. America's carbon footprint has been reduced since 2005. We're the only country in the world, right? And so we continue to mothball things, but China builds brand new coal-fired power plants weekly. India continues to build coal-fired power plants. Everything they've done would completely offset anything we've done. It's a fool's errand that we're doing, isn't it?
Yeah, and to your point, especially if you look at this from a global perspective, where it doesn't matter where it comes from. Yeah, it's all goes into a global system and trapped there. And to your point, the developing world needs a lot more power and will demand a lot more power, whether it's China, India, Indonesia, all the rest of Africa, South America. And then all of this, we're still basing on a baseline of current levels. When you add in AI and the increasing demand that we put on the electric system in the developed world already, and the increased demands that are going to come. Just think how dependent we are right now and the increasing dependence that we have on it. And you haven't even built that into the developing world's coming needs. They're trying to build just to catch up to basically our old baselines. So to your point, the need for conventional electric generation is going to grow exponentially. There's no visual as to how we're going to see this actually start to decrease over time.
Yeah, the only path forward: modular nuclear, clean coal, LNG, all of the above, oil as well. Look, we need energy as Americans. Large quantities, vast quantities of cheap energy. That's the only way we can run this place. I'll give you the last word.
Right, and I think you just hit it. It's all of the above. And all of the above can include renewable. Yes, I mean, nobody's saying you have to get rid of it. But as you went back earlier and said, the idea that you can be totally dependent or that you can have zero emissions, it's this idea that we can achieve and that we are going to make practical plans on perfection. There's the problem.
Yeah. There's a lot of problems here, JT. Whimsical, childlike thinking might be the biggest problem. Oh, we'll just wave a magic wand. JT, greatly appreciate you being here. JT Young, the book, Unprecedented Assault, How Big Government Unleashed America's Socialist Left, and we see it every day, JT. Thank you for being here.